reasonable time blink dagger, very difficult.
So Navi is game 3. I'm gonna clutch versus EG. Both teams having a very clear towards these big team fight spells. There's the Earthshaker, there's the Black Hole from the Enigma. Navi, they can team fight, they can split push, a little bit more versatile, but let's go to the experts, the casters of this game. Sunswan, Syndren, it's all yours and good luck.
He called me an expert.
Damn, I was gonna make that joke. But you took it already.
Alright, so we might... No, we're good. Let's go over EG Weapons on camera. There we go. All right. Well, that's unfortunate. All right, well, let's just do our best.
30 seconds to
It's Storm Spear, one of the 5 heroes we've seen him play this tournament. Universe playing the Axe, PPD on the support Earthshaker. Sounds like looks like he can hear me. Fear playing the Juggernaut and AUI 2000, which I will be calling Owie on Enigma.
And for Navi, it looks like it's going to be Funnick onto Tidehunter. Goblak will be playing as Bane. Toward the top rune, it's going to be the trio of Chvost on Tiny, Dendy on Quap, and Vanscore on Io. So
yeah,
looks like we might have a fight for the rune.
No rune battle. Both are going to Navi. Does this give them a 100% win rate?
Not
Is that what it does?
Oh,
I would actually like to see stats on that. Teams
the
that
win
get
rate for
both
getting
runes,
both
and
banners. Interesting.
I mean, that's not you can't underrate that rune too much.
I think it might be like a very slight lead. Maybe like 52% win rate over teams that
Are you surprised they didn't try for it? I mean, Juggernaut and Enigma together. Well, Enigma has to get Malefice in that case. That's terrible.
I think they could have taken the bottom rune maybe, but the thing is they wanted to use the Shaker for exactly what the panel was talking about. He fissured the top wave. It's going to give Universe a really good start in this lane into a decent position. He'll be playing against Quap, by the way, so Navi electing to put Io Tiny together in the mid lane against the Storm, which should put him under a bit of pressure, but honestly, when you're playing a Storm against... So against the Quap, they had like no kill potential, right? That's almost impossible. But against Tiny Io, they might be able to get away with it with a good fissure at the right time, blocking them off, for example, or rotation from Enigma and Shaker at the same time. So I actually think EG are fairly happy with this, although, of course, it is going to put Fear in a really bad position.
Oh, wow. Nice Berserker's Call by Universe. Only spins once, though, and that's truly unfortunate. Any melee hero going against a Quap is going to be hell on earth because Shadow Strike was buffed beyond
Not
all
Brood Mother.
Okay, fine. That's one melee.
Not Darkseer, he's going to creep skip. You got any more?
Okay, let's see.
Yeah.
No, you're the one naming them. What do you mean, do I have any more? What the hell is that?
I take the obvious ones and then I put you under pressure.
God, I can't think of any. Okay, 95% of melee heroes struggle against Queen of Pain, okay? I mean, Shadow Strike lasts for 15 seconds. If you level up all the way, it's a 4-second cooldown, and I don't know what you do in that case. Owie, gonna be jungling away with his little babies, aka Eidolons. Doesn't have the cool cosmetic, so as a result, is not a top tier Enigma at the end of the day, which is truly unfortunate. Somebody needs to send him that bad point. Hits level 3 really early, actually.
I think this is par, right? 2 minutes on Radiant?
Just seems really good.
I think so.
I'm not a jungling expert, however. Avalanche is gonna connect us.
Oh, that's first blood! Oh, never mind!
Boy!
Got excited over nothing. Here we go.
Well, if he had gotten the combo, I think it would have been first blood. So it would have been double the Avalanche. I think that would definitely would have been enough. In fact, did he just cancel the health bot from Storm?
Yeah.
All right.
So using Toss to remove a salve after it's 1/3 through, I think is worth it for Chvost. Mana is not that big of an issue for Tiny when he's playing with Io. Else you need to be pretty conservative with your mana, but you can cast fairly freely when you're in this kind of lane. So that's all good for them. I'm kind of surprised to see Sumail prioritizing Boots over Bottle. I get where he's coming from because he doesn't want to get caught by the Tiny, and Boots is going to allow him to keep his distance, but ultimately he'll be forced back to base since he doesn't have the Bottle. And this is kind of a...
Well, as a result, PPD is going to get some levels, and that's not the worst thing in the world. I mean, we're talking about a PPD that I feel like, correct me if you think I'm wrong here, which you're not going to because you're awesome, but as far as supports, I feel like PPD gets less farm than a normal team support would. And it's unfortunate that in this case he's playing an Earthshaker who's super item dependent as far as getting that first well, I guess arcane boost to some degree, but more the blink dagger.
Only the blink. You can play without blink, and you can play with soul ring, and you can play with arcanes, and it totally depends on what start you get off to. So in that sense, yes, it's item dependent when for mid game with the blink, but in the super early game, it's really a selfless support. So it has those two stages that I think it fits PPD as a player very well. His shaker was very impressive the last couple of times I saw it. So I have pretty high hopes for some good shaker plays, and they obviously picked it for the recall for the relocate counter. So
what do you think about bottom lane? Well, now it's turning into a 1v1. It was a Juggernaut and tied with a Bane Elemental, who will now be in the forest. I think he's going for the rune at bottom. But do they have any kill potential onto Juggernaut at all with the Bane tied?
Not really. The reason they put
like
this
a tough lane to get a kill.
Yeah, the reason they put this lane was just to deny Fear farm, and they've done okay. I'm actually surprised with how much Fear has, as Sumel's going to take a little bit of a beating, and so is Boost. So, okay, with how Na'Vi planned out these lanes, I don't think they're winning them enough. So they're playing against an Enigma jungle, which means the farming advantage will be going to EG as far as the supports go. Their tied Bane lane, which should arguably shut down Jugger really hard. You can enfeeble, you have Anchor Smash, and then he has literally 0 damage.
Oh, they're committing onto Sumel, or
that's
are
not
they?
happening.
Fissure's going to split the uprights, actually blocks the most in. But they're not going to go any further.
He actually has higher farm than Funnig on the Tide. This is the most surprising thing of this game so far for me. In addition to Sumel being on par with the Titan.
What level is Funnig?
Only the Axe is really suffering, as he should. Dendi is winning his lane, to the extent I would have expected. Pretty much more than doubling up the Axe, 2.5 times his harm pretty much, going 2 points to Shadow
At any point, do you
Strike.
just transition Axe out of there somewhere else? I mean, obviously, normally you put him back in the jungle if he's not getting much, but Enigma's in there right now. I mean, the way that this is going, you could actually put somebody in the opposing jungle, and Na'Vi would still have a hard time threatening them.
I think as long as Universe is getting pretty much full XP, you want to keep your lanes. Then I think this is more effective overall. Like you said, else it's going to be Enigma and X sharing the jungle. What they could do is they could rotate Aoi top and play the X jungle if they want to prioritize his farm, but I think they want the mech more than anything. Fissure for PPD. Oh, that's not the right side.
Would that have been enough for the kill? I don't think so.
Possible. Io had 2 bottle charges. No,
Yeah,
that's
the
not.
bottle for the win. No hero can abuse the bottle more than Wisp. Although, Kunkka, I would put second place. Speaking of him, where the hell has that hero been?
Yeah, good question.
God, that hero's so fun. That's probably top 10 hero as far as entertainment value.
Yeah, I would agree.
They need to... But they did buff him, too.
I
That's
don't
the
really
weird thing.
think he needs a buff. To be honest with you, he's one of the unpicked heroes that I have the least reasoning for why he hasn't been used at all. He can definitely still be
Are you
pulled
sure
out.
it's not Coddle Ags mid?
That's number 1, obviously. That joke is never gonna stop. That's gonna stick with me for the rest of my days.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. That means Coddle gets mentioned a lot. Love Coddle, guys. He
True.
gets a little bonus
Shout out
points
to
for it.
Coddle Guy for being awesome and holding the fort for BTS 2
Yeah.
back in the group stage.
I want to point something out we haven't talked about either. When EG play against IO, their approach to the game seems to be to have the safe lane carry be good against relocate. We saw them the other day with a Luna, which was super effective. That was against Cloud9, I think. They ran them over that game. They had a Luna. Sumail went out of control on Storm, which, by the way, is also picked this game against IO. So there seems to be a pretty clear-cut counterplay for EG.
The entire lineup is actually amazing against Wisp, Tiny Relocate. Literally all 5 of them.
That's what they
can
built
make a
it
case
for. Simply that.
They knew that they were going to pick them, and they just counterpicked.
IO was first pick. Overall first pick, right?
Yeah.
Or was it
believe
X?
So. I believe it was Wisp.
Yeah,
I'm almost
yeah.
positive.
IO was the overall first pick, so they're just building their entire
lineup.
lineup.
Go for a
to
kill
counter.
here. Regen rune on Sumail's already activated. Here he comes. Can he dodge the avalanche? He does.
Wow.
Go back in though.
He didn't commit for that. Surprising.
He's going to keep the regen going.
PPD was right behind him with a fissure.
Yeah, Kavos is completely out of mana. There's nothing in Electric Vortex though, so that's
that
the
would
issue.
explain it. This is Sumail's. He built the same way in the last game we saw of him, which is very unusual to build like this long-range nightmare.
Kavos is going to get a full combo. Here comes the fissure. It's a little bit too late, but Sumail not quite dead. He's going to go on to Goblik. The Sonic Wave coming to effect, taking out the Wisp. Oh my god, Kavos gets black holed. Universe is very close to dying. The toss will finally finish him off. It's a 3-for-1 exchange. The Sonic Wave basically only taking out the Axe, and somehow The Storm Spirit lives on as Goblik is now affected by Malefice. Can they dive any further? Sumail, no mana, no HP. They're going to let him live.
Sick play by Sumail. He dodged the Sonic Wave by jumping just behind Dendi with the Ball Lightning. Does not get touched by it. As a result, they get a 3-for-1. Good Black Hole from Maui as well. He only got one target, but that's still... In that situation, you want to go for that single target Black Hole if you can. And yeah, EG off to a good start. Also Universe in the right place at the right time. He has TP'd in, he's ready there with the call. No Blink Dagger available. Still gets a 2-person call with a great Fissure setup. They just baited that very nicely and off to a good start as Na'Vi thought they could get an easy one.
What does Aoi get on Enigma? Do you think, I mean, BKB is pretty damn good. The only thing that goes through is Bane's ult, and looks like it's going to be a mech first. But do you think a BKB is definitely in the cards, as Queen of Pain's going to get Axe?
He was farming the hard camp, and Dendi has this lane ward, so he saw the movement of Universe going in there, and is able to find him easily. I would say Enigma in this game, you get mech. It's extremely good for the team, and then after that. BKB, yeah, I think so. That's probably the best choice overall.
And I think the only way to really counteract that is for...
either Fiend Script or Toss.
Oh, that's true. Well, Toss is
super unreliable.
Yeah. But I think a Blink Dagger is going to be needed on Bane at some point if you want to try to get semi-reliable Fiend Scripts. As Sumail's going to run into Goblik, but zip away to safety. Goblik not quite level 6 yet. And looking at the net worth, Sumail is on top, but Dendi's not too far behind. And... it's just so weird seeing Juggernaut. I know it's been like this for about a month and a half to 2 months now, the way Juggernaut's been played, but Blade Fury is almost like not even a skill. It's just used for magic immunity, and it's like not used for kills anymore. It's so weird. Yeah,
the only team I recall seeing in this tournament skilling it was, or leveling it up was Vici Gaming when they played IO Jugger. And they got a lot out of it because he could stay on his target very easily, and they got some kills in lane because he leveled it up. So it's not completely forgotten, but this build has definitely taken over for the hard.
We've seen a lot of people get stats over finishing Blade Fury, and the cooldown just gets drastically reduced.
Yeah.
So it's just strange. But Sumail's going to get another regen, and of course, no better hero to have it than that Storm Spirit.
And I want to say, in all of the Dota 2 games I've watched, I think I have never seen any other Storm Spirit player go this build. And he's done it twice in a row now. No point in Electric Vortex at level 8. Most Storms skill it either at level... so you get Remnant first, and then you get Overload. That's pretty much the approach. Right. Then after that, some players get Electric Vortex once or twice, or you level up the Overload. But generally, when you're level 6, every other player has a point in Vortex, because that's what allows you to hold people in place and get the gank going. Sumail is relying on maximum damage output and very little control, but the bonus he gets out of not using Vortex is that he doesn't get slowed. And that's something people often forget, is when you use Vortex, you get slowed yourself.
AUI blocked Sumail, so the regen didn't continue. How dare he? I wonder what Blitz thinks about that build. I'm sure somebody's asked him. I'm not sure what his opinion is. As Dendi now
he's going to be like, as a 7K player myself.
As a 7K player, I have to disagree with the build of Sumail.
I have reached 7K and I have never built it this way.
No, he's built some crazy stuff on Storm, so I would be shocked if that's not the case. But PPD, now level 6, has the Echo Slam to work with. It's going to be placing a ward on the Roshan Cliff, if you will.
He's going to see Phonic farming this. Yeah. And as a result, he's going to do nothing about it.
I don't know what he could possibly do, honestly.
He could walk in and try to last hit one of the creeps and then die.
Yeah. He could sacrifice his life for one Ancient creep, which is still not guaranteed.
Worth.
Definitely worth it. Phonic picks up a Blink Dagger on its way via the courier. Not shortly, because Goblik was using it. How dare he? The 5 should never use the courier over Tidehunter. This is what he's saying right now. Chavos going... looks like he's going Ags first, unless that's a casual point booster into drums or something like that, but... it might be the casual bracer instead, Cinderwin.
Yeah, I don't think this is when you upgrade the drums. The Tiny needs to get more farm, and the Axe is easily the quickest way of ramping it up. As we talked about, great counters on EG for relocate. They also have good Tiny counters. They have Berserker's Call, the Storm to take out the IO, which means in a lot of cases Tiny will be left to his own devices. There is Juggernaut is fairly good against him too with Omni Slash, so he has quite some... he needs to cover some ground in this game. And Ags is definitely the way. I would be very surprised.
Once he gets that Ags, he's probably going to, well, they're going to want to get some tier 1s, but for the most part, they're just going to be taking out stacks, I imagine, until he gets a little beefier. Because just going for straight Ags, he's not going to have a whole lot of attack speed to work with. And Aoi taking out a nice stack here for himself. He's level 10 at the moment. Finishes the mech Mask of Madness on to Fear's Juggernaut, the Juggernaut. as he is now bottom lane, accompanied by PPD. Uh-oh, Fissure's gonna block him off. Omni Slash enough to finish off the poor Bane. And Goblak playing Sacrificial Lamb
for the
Navi.
tower.
Yeah, for the tower. Well, kind of.
Relocate top.
Relocate top. Universe on the run. Avalanche. Oh, it's not gonna happen. He actually tosses a creep. He's gonna eat up the Wisp Balls because they taste so delicious. AUI. No Blink Dagger, any sorts of initiation possibilities. If only Tiny was on his team, that would be just a dream come true.
I've never thought of IO Spirits that way before.
What?
Flying candy. Nom nom.
Well, he literally ate them, so
yeah, well,
they were delicious.
Speaking of X, by the way, this is going to be a late blink for Universe. He's been sacrificed quite a bit this game. Of course, the payoff has been Enigma getting great farm. The Juggernaut has been doing pretty well in lane as well. He's at 80 CS minute 14, which is really good considering the lane he had. So, EG with a weakness right now, not having that blink, but doesn't seem like they need it to force down this tower. Navi just not interested in contesting, which is slightly surprising. They have Ravage, they have IO Tiny, obviously relocate used, but might still be able to fight. And I guess the reason is Dendy's bottom without TP ready, so they'll be fighting without their level 2 Sonic, and that's kind of a problem.
Yep. Well, I almost said Chavos because I'm so used to him playing Juggernaut, but Fear with the level 2 Omni Slash to work with. The Smoke on EG with the 4 members at the top rune area. Funif, of course, does have his Ravage to work with, so this Smoke may not be a good idea. As Ogre Club now picked up by Chavos, he is about 1700 away from finishing that full Ags. And Dendy still, I mean, not that this is horrible, horrible timing, but you typically see Dendy finishing an Orchid around the 15, I want to say 15, 16 minute mark.
Yeah, that sounds
But last game it was like 24 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. And this game doesn't seem to be that close.
This is going to be better, though. He'll have it sub 20 for sure. He'll probably have it 18 or 19, which is still a fairly decent time with treads and only 1 kill. The super fast Orchids you're used to seeing at like minute 11 sometimes is with boots only. And treads is I mean, after all, it's about another 1,000 gold invested, so it's okay. I think he's on par with what he should be now. He still has 90 CS minute 15 for the mid laner, which is perfectly okay. And let's see, how far away is that Orchid? About 700.
How effective do you think Orchid's going to be this game? So you have an Enigma who inevitably will be going for a BKB, so that's not really going to be a target of choice once that is picked up. The Storm is a huge target. Does he go Lincolns or anything to that? I mean, this is Sumail we're talking about, so I highly doubt that's going to be the case.
So he's going to go Yules.
Yeah. What do you think about Yules on Storm Spirit? Let's just assume.
Or okay, so I think there's a couple of reasons why Yules isn't good. It's good against the Orchid, but it's not good against Fiend's Grip, which is still a pretty good counter. It can be good against Ravage if you're really quick, but else if he gets caught by any of those or a tiny Avalanche toss, he will not be able to use the Yules, whereas the Lincolns could change that situation quite a bit. He will be getting the Orchid first, obviously, as to play aggressively. And oh god, I love seeing Tiny with level 1 grow and Ags. It just looks hilarious.
It looks better without the grow, though. But yeah, that just shows how fast or how much he prioritized the Aghanim Scepter.
Yeah. It shows how few kills he got as well.
Yeah, that is true.
I think this is the second time this tournament I've seen a level 10 Tiny with Ags. We're used to seeing level 11 because Tiny IO just has a history of getting a lot of kills early, and those kills generally yield more experience than gold.
Where does PPD find time to farm this Blink Dagger? We just see one picked up by Universe on the Axe. Typically speaking, when you have an Earthshaker I mean, this is the 5 right now. Somebody typically will leave some open space for him to end up just finding something for himself, but this lineup is super greedy, and I don't think that's going to be the case. So, just from tower kills?
I also don't even think he needs Blink until minute like 40. I know it sounds...
Can he get it by minute 40?
That's a question, but... It sounds kind of strange when you pick a Shaker that you should deliberately not go for the Blink. Of course, if he can get it, he will, right? But consider it a luxury item this game, because his absolutely main priority is Fissure on IO Tiny. If he can get that every single fight, it's fine. The Echo Slam is a bonus, and that they can set up with either Blink Call from Axe. I mean, he's not the only initiator, right? There's Blink Call from Axe, there's BKB on Enigma coming somewhere down the line. He's already working on it. Storm can also open with the Orchid, and even Juggernaut can start the fight by running in an Omni Slashing. So, I think, given the
Orchid is done on Dendy, Sumail is going to zip out. And he's going to be fine. So Smoke ends up not working as Universe can initiate onto Chavos, but here comes Vanscore. I believe he's going to relocate Chavos out of here.
Oh, that
and away he goes.
Just 1 inch off, and Vanscore gets a very nice relocate save. If that fissure hits, Chavos might die. And instead, he's going to be just safe and coming back in.
He's going to be just safe.
Just safe.
All
no
right.
more than that.
All right. But it's pretty good.
Right, no, nothing more. Oh, he's also getting healed. That's right.
We didn't. I know the panel talked about this a bit. What do you think about Bane in this game, actually? Against all these stuns.
I am not as big
This
of a fan
almost
of
feels
it.
like the Warlock. I don't want to go there, but...
So I'm not as big fan of it because I think on paper the hero can be really good, but at the same time I just feel like the number of counters on EG is going to make it hard for Goblin. He needs really great positioning. And granted, he gets that. He can counter out Storm fairly well. And he supposedly should have also been good in lane against Juggernaut, which I still feel like they didn't win that lane enough.
You know what would have been a good pick is Lich.
He was banned. He was
banned. Oh, he was definitely banned?
Yeah, he was banned in second phase by EG.
Okay.
So
that's probably what they wanted.
They had the same ideas.
What else did what other supports are available? The Vengeful Spirit, I'm sure, was banned.
Oh god, I can't remember. But Lion was banned too, I think. Lion was banned.
Well, I'm thinking about things that will stun through. They could have gone Warlock actually to stun through Enigma Black Hole.
Why didn't they do that? Okay, so the reason I'm a little bit skeptical about Bane is Storm can now just jump on him and solo him always, as long as he doesn't get caught in a Ravage, which he has the potential to counterplay that as well. Fissure is a really long-range disable to stop Fiend's Grip. Enigma, when he gets a Blink, will also counter it out nicely. And even Axe with Blink Call. Like the positioning requirements for Bane are really high, but if he can meet them, he can do a really good job. It's still just... It's one of those cases where a hero looks great on paper, but there's just so many things to worry about that he might not be able to. I mean, we haven't seen a Fiend's Grip yet, right?
Nope, I don't believe so.
Minute 20. Still waiting
one of those
for
games. Have we even seen a Ravage yet? I don't think so.
Also not.
I mean, we haven't seen any team fights at all. I mean, there's only 6 kills in this game. And speaking of Tidehunter, he's working on the Refresher Orb. Still a long ways off, but the fact that we're talking about that now just means that he's getting decent farm overall. I mean, obviously the Blink Dagger hasn't even been used to any effect yet, that I can remember at least. Both teams seem pretty content with just farming. And who does that really benefit, do you think?
Tiny will out-farm them, probably.
Dandy gets Orchided, and then Berserker's called. Calling Blade to follow, I'm sure, is boom! He drops to the deck.
And he also didn't get the rune. Sumail got that. And this is classic EG. Turn a key kill into a Roche if possible. Fear is going to go in. They do have Healing Ward level 3. I like seeing that a lot, that he has leveled it up this much.
Nice Remnant giving some vision for Sumail. Fear going to 1v1 Roche for now. But Funix still has... Oh, here we have the toss. Goblek's on the cliff. He's silenced and just gets destroyed by Sumail. Can't even get off the Fiend's Grip, so we have more initiation. Fanscore's in the midst of things. There's the Ravage doing decent amount of damage, but that is 4 dead for Na'Vi, and Tiny in all likelihood will die. They even used the Black Hole just to ensure and to save Sumail's life. Definitely a good choice. They get a team wipe, they lose Axe, they get a Roche. Pretty damn good trade.
Extremely good Blink Call by Universe. He finds 3 targets next to each other, sets up the nice and easy kill on the Wisp. Quick reactions from Sumail as well, sees the toss coming in. His positioning, I think, well, so Na'Vi knew he was up there, right, because of this ward, else they can't do the toss. But as the smoke breaks here, so Sumail can actually see them from up on the cliff, and he sees the toss animation come in. So he instantly reacts by jumping down, orchiding up, and jumping up again. So that sequence of plays, this allows Goblek from A, if he has precast the Fiend's Grip, he will instantly, or he has the short cast animation, but he will get in on Storm. He cancels the animation because he jumps, so Goblek needs to click it again. While he's clicking it, he's down, and he's untargetable. He jumps up again, orchids him, takes him down solo, and by jumping up, he also stays out the range of the Tiny. Just beautiful play.
I was going to say something, and I forgot what I was going to say, because you're just so smart.
So beautiful.
Damn, what was I going to say? Shoot.
Probably nothing important.
I know it's nothing important because it's coming from my mouth, but... See, you see what happens when I'm self-deprecating? It makes you feel bad about yourself.
I know.
Do you feel bad about yourself?
Not really, actually.
Okay, never mind. You're just a terrible person then.
Because I know you bait me like that.
I'm going to take out a Dust.
You've played that too much and it doesn't work anymore.
Okay, that's true. He has the Hyperstone, so Assault Cuirass in all likelihood will be the choice for him. And the farm in all likelihood will start going way up, but AUI... I'm surprised he's not done with BKB, actually. Unless it's on the Courier or something like that. Okay, it's on the Courier.
Good call.
There we go. Good stuff. Alright, you talk for a second. I'm going to think about what I was going to say. It was good.
Okay. So, Na'Vi are top of the last hit charts with Tiny. I think he might be atop the... Let's see, the net worth too? No, he's actually...
Okay, I thought I was going to say...
Did you get it?
Kind of. Well...
Okay.
I just wanted to bring up a point about Cloud9 and EG. How would you agree with this, that they're really good at taking Roches? And
yeah.
The only difference between...
And Secret, too.
Yeah, and well, a lot of the Western teams, I guess. But something I've noticed with Cloud9 is a lot of times they prioritize Aegis on a not-so-good Aegis carry. We saw a lot of Lycan Aegises today, and I mean, I know sometimes you have to do it because he's the biggest farmer on your team, he does the most damage, but it's just very underwhelming a lot of the times. And here we're seeing EG with a perfect hero to take advantage of Aegis. Storm, probably the best hero in the game, unless you can think of somebody else.
He is easily top 3 at least.
And if they can use it to full effect, this will be huge for EG, and this is one of the reasons they're so successful. They can actually take advantage of having an Aegis, or a cheese for that matter, from taking Roshan. I mean, like you said, they take full advantage of just getting 1 kill and then go into Roshan, and then end up team wiping in that case. Man, look at the pennant difference. That is insane. Did they stop doing pennants or something? It's only 5,000 for each. That is crazy. Compared to 23,000. Wow. I just think the pennants were made a much bigger deal out of during TI2. That's when they were really talked about. That's when they were really purchased. I think they might have been... Volvo reworked pennants.
I think they might not be sold in... I can't remember, though. I honestly don't know this for sure. But Na'Vi as historically just the Western team during TI1 and TI2. That's when this was introduced and became a big deal back then. So.
Yeah. Agreed. Fear has the ultimate orb. Is he going for a Scotty?
Oh, and it's also 4 in the morning, as someone yells. 4 in the morning US West time, and 7 in the morning US East, and of course a majority of EG fans probably American. So
yeah, that's a really good point, actually.
They're not going to get up at these hours to watch their team.
Great fans they are.
Yeah. Way to support your team.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And it looks like this tier 1's going to go the way of Na'Vi. EG. There's a TP here, though, and it's from Enigma. Does he have a blink? He has Malefice. No, he has the BKB. And here comes the Storm Spirit onto Chavos. Vanscore, are you going to take him out in time? Here he goes! He's popping out. But here's the Black Hole on 2. Here's Dendi! Oh my god, and the Bane get destroyed. BKB pop for AUI. Funix going to be able to get out. A tier 1 for... It's going to end up being 3 kills in all likelihood with this poor Vanscore IO. I mean, that's the role you play. It's a triple kill for Universe.
It's just Bane again, right? I don't think Goblik's positioning was that poor, but he was envisioned. And then there's so many counters. He gets the grip, instant Blink Calm. This is pretty difficult playing Bane in, honestly.
It is a difficult game.
I don't really feel like he's playing that poorly. It's just
it's like one
hard.
of those we talked about with Bone 7, picking the Legion or having Legion Commander pick for him. That game in particular is just not a good Legion Commander game. It's just feeling the same for Bane, which is really unfortunate because the rest of the lineup, I mean, sure they countered the Wisp Tiny relocate a lot, but that's not their whole team composition.
No.
Especially with Tidehunter or Funix farming quite well on the Tidehunter as well.
But yeah, I would agree with your reasoning. I think people are going a little bit overboard on the Bone 7 hate train, because to me, a lot of the games... Okay, granted, he has not performed as well as we're used to seeing. I will agree with that. He has been underperforming based to his standard. But the extent that people are saying he's underperforming, I think has a lot to do with the drafting. And the moment... If he gets put, first of all, on heroes that need to perform but have a hard lane, that combination is really scary, right? A hero like Legion Commander is really bad at playing from behind, and then gets put on a lane he can't win. Those kind of games are extremely hard to shine, and even when you get your Blink Dagger, you're so far behind the direction the game is going in that you can get a Blink Duel if you just die. What are you going to do 30 minutes in with a Blink Dagger, right?
Yeah.
So, at the same time, he's also playing on a team that take a lot of farm. So finding a way back when you have Eternal Envy farming a hell of a lot, as well as even Fata is also one of the has oriented himself towards farming a lot on his mid heroes. It's a kind of a nasty composition. However, for Na'Vi, Godlike is picking for himself, so he is putting himself in these Marcher positions that I think he prefers. But that's just a lot easier if you're playing a hero like Abaddon, who has level 6 ultimate, or has ultimate level 6, and then you can, like, even if you're underfarmed, you can still get your spells off because there's no counter. If you're playing a hero like Treant, you can do a lot without even being exposed in the fight. Bane, different story.
I mean, on paper, like you talked about, Bane with 3 CC abilities, essentially, if you can consider Enfeeble kind of like that, just crippling a carry. It's just... You have to get the spells off. In this game, it's next to impossible. But Blink Dagger now, on the lighter side of things for EG, Blink Dagger picked up on the Enigma. And this is going to be dirty once this Black Hole is up. But of course, they do know that the Blink Dagger's up, so assuming that they're going to try to counteract that. As Tiny working on BKB. I mean, Khavos is still the top farmer in the game, but the problem is the distribution, if you look at the net worth, is not even close. It's just hugely in EG's favor. It's just top heavy for Na'Vi at the moment. Is the smoke now in place? And actually, PPD, he's going to get a Blink Dagger soon if he doesn't die in the next 30 seconds.
The smoke from Na'Vi.
Go the way.
Have we seen a Ravage yet?
Yeah, we've seen a Ravage.
One.
Yes.
Okay.
I think one. Pretty sure.
Oh yeah, we had one at the fight at the Roche pit, right?
Yeah.
There must have been one.
No, I know for that one for sure. I'm just trying to think if there's a second one. I don't think so though. But now with Earthshaker, this is going to be dirty. This is going to be so disgusting if he can hide this Blink Dagger and just wait for the initiation possibility. Or just waiting for Na'Vi to initiate first, if even need be. He's Tide Hunter down. He's getting closer to Refresher, just needs to finish the Perseverance with another couple hundred gold, but then, unfortunately, 1,800 away from the recipe itself.
Looks like it's go time for EG. They're all relaying mid. They're going to port in PPD.
They're relaying big time.
They have one unknown Blink for now. They do the one on Enigma they should have seen by now. Aoi has been in vision a couple of times, but the one on Shaker is going to catch them by surprise, I think, like you said.
We'll see if he ends up using it. He's going to use the Fissure first. They probably haven't seen yet. Khavos is going to get Berserker Call, being forced out completely, and Wisp takes him home. I didn't even see that.
Yeah, they're just baiting it out.
By the way, you saw that the Wisp Blink thing was fixed today, right?
Yep.
So it wasn't bug. It did say fixed.
Yeah.
It didn't say changed. As Scotty
they fixed it from good but intended to non-existent.
Yeah, okay. We go with that, I guess. Sumail, Bloodstone, going for BKB now. And what does Na'Vi need to do? They have really good teamfight potential, obviously. The problem is EG has even better, I would say.
They need to play with confidence. I think if the Tide doesn't blink Ravage before the BKB on Enigma comes out, they can't win the fight. They have to be the ones opening, and they need to just go in, fully believe in their strategy, and just find the kind of opening they need. Just a 2 or 3 man Ravage should be enough. He doesn't need that extremely good 4 or 5 man one.
We're going to have initiation on a Khavos. Medford take him out. There's no ult though, and Fear even just pops him in 2 hits. And Khavos takes a black hole for himself. Yes, you're that important. He doesn't have a buyback. 60 seconds, he'll be dead. And with this, EG in all likelihood will push or go for Roche, which I don't think is up for another minute or so.
Yeah, about
they want to force this buyout, which isn't there.
They get a lane of Rax if they play this as aggressive as possible, I think. They should still be a little bit cautious, as there is a Ravage and a Sonic Wave, so if they're not full HP, they can't go up. They have Healing Ward level 4.
Echo Slam on Danny! Oh my god, the burst damage is out of control. 60 seconds, he's dead, no buyback. Okay, that hurt. That hurt me deep down inside. That Echo Slam.
And that's a really smart play in hindsight, actually, here from EG, because there is no way Dendi would expect that to happen. He's lost 2 teammates that don't have buyback. He's going to expect EG to run 4 heroes down mid and take the tower. Instead, they split 2-2. They send 2 heroes top to kill off Dendi, and they still get the push done. The main pushing hero, Juggernaut, is still in the mid lane. He's going to be hitting barracks. This is probably a full lane. Well, unless they can mount
Ravage
some sort of
is
critical
online,
defense.
but yeah, Tiny comes back in about 3 seconds. Quap, another 30 though. Some
they might actually only get the range fix.
I agree with that. He's going to Blade Fury, get some nice little clicks in between. As a result, we'll dodge the Avalanche completely. The most pops is BKB. Black Hole's not up. Ravage is going to hit basically everybody on EG, and the right clicks will be enough to take out the Universe. But the chase continues, and EG just overpowering. Although Khavos still right-clicking with a lot of damage. Double kill for Fear. And a counter double kill from Khavos, but there's just way too much lockdown. Malefice, everything being used. Fear takes a toss.
Oh, nice play by
Khavos
Khavos staying
will actually
alive.
live at the end of the day. Dendi gets a nice Orchid into a Sonic Wave.
Hit the Healing Ward.
The Healing Ward doing quite a bit. Fear very slow. Here comes the Enchant Totem into a Malefice, into a Fissure, into the right clicks. This isn't enough to take out Dendi with the crit Fear. Oh my goodness. I don't know if they can continue this without Healing Ward. So they'll probably back this up. And Roche is up, though.
Man, this is just not Dendi's day. That's pretty rough.
It just seems like every time he blinks in, he just gets perma-stunned.
Again, Fiend's Grip channeled for literally less than half a second.
I didn't even see it.
He used it, instant blink call.
Is that the first cast all game, too?
He just snap calls it. No, he's cast it 3 or 4 times.
Oh,
you just don't see it. It's that fast. Like,
wait, does he have Enfeeble levels right now?
Yes, 2 points. I think he used it for the laning stage, and I don't think he's really cast it after that. Oh, Sumail.
Well,
easy.
Nothing much to say about that.
Too easy for so easy.
Pursuing Sumail, still has some mana to zip out. Just baiting. Universe Has the blink.
Khavos cannot
He wants to
afford
go
to
for
die
Van
here.
Score. BKB popped by Khavos. He gets the avalanche. Van Score's going to try to take him back.
Yeah, he's going to have to. Maybe. Some mail. I said
Meanwhile, Fear just roshing. And Khavos, no, he does get sent back. Even the Echo Slam is used. That's pretty big. But alas, the Roshan taken out, and Fear will get an Aegis all for himself. And Van Score, can he get this tether
I'm going to give
off?
you odds 1 million to 1 that Mayo dies. Oh, you didn't get time to bet.
I'll take it. I'll take whatever the odds are.
1 million to 1. You owe me, how much did you bet?
Nothing.
$1? You owe me $1 millionth dollar.
$1 million.
I expect to see it on my PayPal
I don't
momentarily.
have that much. Sorry.
$1 millionth dollar?
I don't have a millionth of a dollar.
Damn.
Because it doesn't exist. Storm. Shit. Sumail.
You can round up to
We don't
7.
want to look at the graphs, Weapus. This is just disgusting. But BKB now, Sumail, he can go even deeper if he wants to. Khavos' BKB, what is that at now? Like 6 seconds? 7 seconds right now?
Yeah. And he hasn't really got much out of it. He had to use, all the times he used it correctly.
I can't more in a defensive manner.
I can't really put a finger on his tiny play this game. I think he's been playing exactly like he needed to. The draft just hasn't enabled him at all. EG are just playing around with them, and they're never getting the team fight they're looking for.
I haven't talked about Universe at all, but he is super duper farmed. Has the Vanguard going for BKB. Blade Mail has been there a long time. And his initiations have been very spot on as well. As Owie jumps in with the Malefice. Fear just going to right click, takes an avalanche to the face, however.
He does have the Aegis.
Yeah, Aegis
So
on
he doesn't
Fear,
afraid of
healing ward, level 4, level up. Here we go, Phonic with a nice initiation. They're trying to blow up the Enigma. He has Black Hole's going to be on 2. Both Phonic and Khavos being caught completely as Dandy pops the BKB as well. Omnislash being used along with Sumail just taking out Wisp with no problem. 3 dead, 4 dead, a buyback now on Tiny. And this looks like the beginning of the end for Na'Vi as they might drop to the lower bracket as EG on the cusp of winning this series 2-1. They're going to get 2 racks.
Nope, they're leaving that one. Okay.
They thought about that. Like, oh, okay. Well, this top lane now.
Style points for faking.
That would have been so bad manners they just left it. And I don't think there's anything Na'Vi can do to defend this with the Aegis still intact for Fear. Another very well executed game for EG, I have to say. And it's going to be mega creeps.
If they get the 3rd lane, yeah.
Damn it. I thought they had that lane for some reason. It doesn't matter. Oh, here we go. Initiation. Universe pops the blade. Khavos gets a really fast BKB, but the jump in by Sumail just blows up Dendi. Barely gets out in time. Khavos gets a melee relocate. He's going to live to see another day. Dendi might not be so lucky. Is they're going to die. Fear pops the Manta. Still has the Aegis, remember. And Owie just adding to his item list with a Shiva's Guard. Oh my goodness, this is disgusting. Phonic does not have Ravage yet. As a toss onto a creep. Fear looks like he'll fall.
Are you calling Fear a creep? Oh.
Universe pops the Blade Mail. Sumail BKB going for Van Score. Van Score does not have relocate. He's going to fall to the right clicks of Sumail either way. And Khavos, that's the 5-second BKB. It is down, and he will fall to the right clicks yet again. And GG's come out. 28-5. EG just dominated this game.
They really make that. They made that IO seem totally useless.
That's one of. I feel like that's one of the few games that it's felt like Wisp has been just. There's nothing they can do, and it's like we said. It has to do with the draft at the end of the day. But execution was there for EG. You got to give them a lot of credit.
Every single